Hey guys, it's Scott here, and it's hard to believe that the Breeders' Cup is rapidly approaching us. It's got less than 2 weeks away to the race, and we're going to talk about Flightline in this video. Flightline is going to be the big boy. It's going to be the 1 to 2, maybe 3 to 5 favorite. So you're not going to make too much money betting the win. So if you want to make some money out of this race, which is probably the reason most everybody tunes into the race, see what Flightline is going to do. You're going to have to start thinking about betting horizontal or vertical wagers. And it's time to start looking at some of the races going to be before the classic and start getting a game plan together. And you're going to have the Breeders' Cup turf. That's going to be a mile and a half on the turf. And then the race for that's going to be the distaff. So if you're looking at maybe a double or pick three, now these are going to be the races right here. And if you want to go a step further, you got the Breeders' Cup mile. And, that's where you're going to have to start rounding out those type of wagers at. And, we can look ahead at the, Breeders' Cup turf. And you're going to have some good, solid fields. You got Warlike Goddess by Bill Mott, who's been doing really good this year as a fill with me matching up against the males. Then you got Rebel Romance, who's been undefeated since going to turf this year by Charles Appleby. And then you got, Nation's Pride and Stone Age, both ran in the turf triple series. So you got a solid field of horses. The ones I'm probably leaning towards going right now, and I want to say that my handicapping for all these races is far from over. There's a lot of races to get through, a lot of video to watch, and I'm going to go day by day. It's probably be a video per day posted, if not two. It's going to get in all my picks. I'm leaning towards, a Warlike Goddess. I really like Rebels Romance, even though I think a lot of the money sometimes going to be on Nation's Pride because it's owned by Godolphin. And, Aiden O'Brien has Stone Age. But, I may do like Warlike Goddess, Rebels Romance, and, try to go with that. And maybe look for a potential third horse I like at a price as my, wagers to go against Flightline. And then if you want to go to the race before, I'll do a pick three with the, Pletcher girls. I'll do Nest and Malatot. I just don't think none of these other ones, Clarier could be, if you look at the bad performance last time and she can rebound, you're looking at a potential, upset possibility right there. And then you got, Search Results, I think wants to go, just a little bit shorter than a mile and an eighth. So I think I'm going to lean towards maybe Nest to be able to get the job done. I think Malatot's year was last year, and I think she hasn't really taken that massive step forward. But I could see Nest. I think a mile and an eighth is, more definitely in her distance. Probably wants to, go a mile and a quarter. So if you start looking at pick threes, I can easily see Nest for me. Rebels Romance, Warlike Goddess. Something tells me Mischief might come to play too. He did get second in the Bayou a few races back, and he hasn't really done anything the last couple races. But if he can bounce back to form, he can certainly be a major player in this race. So my gut feeling just says watch out for Mishra. And, if you're going to start getting into, doing some of the exactas and trifectas, it's going to be a loaded field. You got, Cyberknife, who's probably going to be pointed towards the dirt mile, but for now, we can't leave him out. You got Epicenter winning the Trevors, Jim Dandy, that did really good this year. I still think he's a cut below Flightline, but if this horse got second, certainly nobody could be surprised. And then you got, Happy Saber's already finished second, the Flightline in the Met Mile, and looked like he was going to beat Life as good turning for home in the Whitney. So if Happy Saber could get up and get second, that would certainly be another possibility. Then you got Hot Rod Charlie, who, always seems to come with a top three finish, no matter what. So, for that, you can't rule out Hot Rod Charlie even jumping up and getting second either. And then you got Life is Good, the other Pletcher big boy, the biggest, name recognition challenger to Life is Good. I certainly don't think he's in quite the same form that he was last year, but still you can't leave this horse out. And then you got Olympiad. And I think Olympiad is one I'm going to start siding with for that second place spot. And I think he's going to have, he's going to run towards the front of the pace. I don't think he's going to catch Flight. But if Olympiad can, worry about just beating the rest of the field, not trying to necessarily beat Flightline, he could certainly get a big piece of this race and get second. And then you got, Rich Strike, where if it was at Church, so you couldn't leave this horse out. But nonetheless, it's at Keeneland, so I'm going to leave him out. And then you got Taba, another solid horse from Bob Baffert. I'm going to play against for second, but nobody, like I said, the same with Epson. Nobody can be surprised if this horse got second. So, for that, you have to pick a couple of the other solid horses to get second. And I think it gets really wide open there. So you might not make much money out of the win bet perspective from Flightline, but if you start playing some of these other horses, and pick twos, pick threes, exactas, and trifectas, kind of key Flightline, you could certainly end up making some money if you can pick the right horses to, win this race. And if you want to go even a step further into the, Breeders' Cup Mile, for a pick four, You got, Regal Glory, another filly from Chad Brown that, certainly bounced back. She'd catch some of that earlier form. You got Modern Games also from, Charles Appleby. You got Annapolis, who, has looked really good for Todd Pletcher the last couple races. So, that's a pretty solid three to start building your wagers around. So that's how I'm probably going to be playing Flightline this year in the Breeders' Cup Classic.